So the Calgary Flames are out, and it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. And I say that as a guy who is not a fan of Calgary. I say that as a person who really wanted to see Canadian teams do as well as possible in the first round. And it was predictable in that Anaheim was a bad matchup. Anaheim was a bad matchup in all ways. I could have argued before the series that the goaltending would be better for Calgary, but Elliott wasn't better. You could argue that he was just as good as Gibson, but he wasn't better than Gibson. And Calgary's got some soul searching to do here because they're at the proverbial crossroads. They're in between being a good playoff team and being a contender. And those are two very different animals. A good playoff team will make the playoffs every year, and they might win a round, but they're likely going to be out in round 2 at the latest. And Calgary has to ask themselves how they get from here to there. And in the midst of all this, and related to Calgary, Don Henderson, the linesman that got hit by Dennis Wideman, is now suing. He is now suing Wideman and the Flames for $10.25 million, which includes all of his all of his medical bills, all of his issues he's got going on with that. And I guess we'll see where this goes. I know with Bertuzzi and Steve Moore from years back, these things can drag out for years. Wideman's a free agent. The Flames will do their part to say, look, he got hit and he hit a linesman and we had nothing to do with it. We bear no responsibility. They'll argue that Wideman was concussed, didn't know what he was doing. And I think they'll probably end up meeting in somewhere around the middle. But I feel for Henderson, and if anybody wants to say, oh, it's just a greedy referee and $10 million, who does he think he is? Or a linesman. He's had discs removed from his back. He can't skate. He's been told he likely will never be able to skate again. So that's his livelihood gone in a split second. So suing Wideman is likely the only way he's going to recoup what he's lost. Future earnings are really hard to pinpoint. And for an official, I would think it's even more so, because officials can be in the NHL for 15, 20 years. And you know, I know, geez, McCreary was there forever. Van Helleman was there forever. Kerry Fraser seemed to be there forever. Like, there were a lot of referees. I'm not even counting Shane Heyer. There have been linesmen too that were in there for a long time. So I don't really have a problem with his numbers, and I don't know offhand the salary level that linesmen and referees are at, but that number has to be in line with what he would have got in his career. And it's a shame. So, you know, it's the timing of the announcement sucks if you're a Flames fan, because that's something that Flames fans have been united in, that reducing that suspension from 20 to 10 games was the right move. And it just, I don't know. The only thing I can say for the Flames that's a benefit is, when it's a sweep, that's a thorough ass kicking. Even if the games are all one goal, that's an ass kicking. Coming into October, it's not like a 7-game series and in the 7th game you lose in overtime. It's not like players can come in the fall and go, we were really close though. Remember last year we lost to the Ducks, but we were really close. Calgary can't do that. The Flames have to look and they have to say, we're not good enough. I didn't have a problem with Gullettson's pulling of Elliott when he did. I was just surprised if Elliott was on that short of a leash that Elliott started the game. clearly Brian Elliott was on a short leash, and he shouldn't have been in the game. They should have gone with Johnson right off the bat. But that's just my opinion. I've heard it the other way. I watched him and Sid, and they argue it the other way, and I can't really have an issue with the way that they look at it. An opinion's an opinion. There's no right and wrong when it comes to an opinion. And I don't know. Calgary is in flux right now. There's players who are likely going to be out. I'm going to take a look here at Calgary. Who do they have that's expiring? Expiring, Chris Versteeg. He'll get a raise. If he stays in Calgary, he gets a raise. He's one of the few Flames that was really, really noticeable in the playoffs. Bennett, he'll get a bridge deal. Take a look at the new album we created. I didn't tell Windows to create a new flippin'. Don't interrupt my video to tell me you created a new album for me, you needy computer. But yeah, Bennett will get a bridge deal. Lazar, I don't know what they're going to do with Lazar. Maybe there's something with Curtis Lazar's game that other people see that I don't. There's his stats there. 4 games with the Flames, he had 3 points, and that's regular season. I don't think that's up to date either. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what they give him. He's not going to get a big raise over the $894,000 he made last year, though. He'll probably get a bridge deal too. So 2-year deals for Bennett and Lazar, unless Bennett's decided he's good to go and the Flames agree with him and they give him like a 6-year deal. I don't think that's where it's going. Maybe. Ferland will get a raise on his $825,000. He'll probably double that. Chason's $800,000. I don't know if they're going to keep him. And there's Freddie Hamilton, who should hug his brother every day for the fact that he's in the NHL. And on the blue line, of course, you got Giordano and Dougie Hamilton are signed forever. Wideman's expiring. England and Stone are expiring. I think they'll be interested in keeping both of those guys. I just don't. I think, well, England would have to take a pay cut. The $2.9 million, he's not worth $2.9. I don't know if he was ever worth that much. But Stone's $2 million. That's about where he'd probably end up again if they keep him. And TJ Brody's got 4 more years left at $4.6 million. And then Bartkowski, they got signed for another year after this one. I'm not sure why. But then again, I like Bartkowski. Okay, then you got to remember with Matt Bartkowski, he played for Boston, then he played for Vancouver. So I saw a lot of him. I'm not sure that I see the upside that other people may, if there's an upside left. He's 28. The real deal with Calgary is going to be what they do with their goaltending. Both Elliott and Johnson are UFA this summer. And based on last night's game and just the series, I think Elliott's out. And I think Johnson will get a chance to come back. But he'll be the backup to whoever they bring in this summer. Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be a very popular name in terms of somebody being tied to the Flames. It makes sense. It would probably be a smart move for both teams. I just don't know. I don't know how much of an upgrade Fleury would be on Elliott in the regular season. In the playoffs, absolutely, for the most part. Fleury, it's easy to forget that Fleury had a couple of really bad playoffs there in between Stanley Cups, but it's going to be an interesting offseason for Calgary for sure. The Wideman thing won't be a distraction because Wideman's not on the team anymore, which happened with Bertuzzi too. Moore's lawsuit was against the Canucks and Bertuzzi, but the Canucks, that was a little different. The Canucks did kind of solicit that attack. They did ramp up the rhetoric. This was just a one-off for Calgary. I can't see Calgary, the team, necessarily being made to pay they're found liable on some level or there's something along the lines of, while a player is on the ice wearing this jersey, the Flames are responsible for what the player wearing this jersey does. And I don't know how much of that exists in sports. I guess we'll find out during the trial, but that trial could drag out for years. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're a Flames fan, does it feel better to lose in 4? For me, it always has. When my teams lose in 4, like right now, Boston's down 3 games to 1 to Ottawa. It's likely over tomorrow. Good. I don't want a game 7. Game 7 stresses me out. And when my teams lose game 7s, I get very upset. So if you're going to lose it in 4 or 5, and then I'm fine. I find that much easier to take. I just want to know if other fans agree with me. And again, they can't come in the fall and say, well, we were close. They weren't close. And that's to the benefit of helping guys like, I don't want to say Monahan because Monahan had a good playoff, but man, Gaudreau's got to get his game up in the playoffs. He's got to be ready to play. And there were so many moments in those 4 games where it's like, he's going to take it, he's going to do something, and then it just didn't add up. It just didn't happen. So, Johnny Hockey's got to be Johnny Hockey in April. He can't just be that through the regular season. So again, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you all again soon.